Okay, I think we are live right now, folks, and I want to welcome you all to another episode of Let's Talk Lawns. Today is episode 3, specifically talking golf course lawn dreams, but having realistic ones. Now, this show is not to mess around and give you guys the bad stuff that happens in lawn care. This is primarily just to prepare you if you consider going on this route, on the things that we encounter. See, sometimes YouTube makes this fairy tale of a sample size of what's really going on out there. And this show is primarily talking about what we actually face. So, with that being said, I am going to be conducting these lives, giving you guys tips along with other pros and DIYers in the future, discussing about different topics. Now, with that being said, my guest of honor is actually late to my live. Can you believe that, folks? He is late. It goes to say with his name, Busy Bee, seems he was taking a nap, and being how busy he is, I could completely understand that. He says he's getting the workarounds ready to jump on the live. So before that, I just want to thank everybody for this last minute live. Thank you for joining. I know it was supposed to be a 1 month type of thing, and that was my goal. But if different topics come to mind, I really want to get them out there for you guys. With that being said, Brent, Justin, thank you guys for joining. I'm not sure who else is on here, but thank you guys. In the meantime, the topic of today came to mind because it's something that happened to me personally, and it's something I see inconsistent with YouTube. And we'll get into that a lot more in detail when my guest shows up, my guest of honor. We'll give him a few minutes. If not, I'll go ahead and start jumping in. Let's start throwing some comments up in here. Brent came in first. Western Turf Mass has a YouTube channel. You guys can check him out. Justin, what's up, buddy? Glad to see you. Yes, his laptop is booting up to say. We'll see. Says he was taking a nap, so I could completely understand. Seems last night he had some electrical issues around his house. There were some power outages, so maybe it took a little bit for that AC to kick in, his good temperature to fall asleep. So maybe that's the reason, or one too many of those. I hope you guys are having a good evening, a good Sunday at that too. Hope you got out, and I know across the country a lot of people are already getting out there to mow. So hope you guys are putting in those applications of what you need, getting out, mowing, and getting outside and enjoying that fresh air and the smell of fresh cut grass. All right. Well, to kick off the show, I have a couple of things there. I need my guest to come up, but he is not here yet. So I'll start with my part, I guess, a little bit over what we were going to discuss. But yeah, golf course lawn dreams. That is a topic of discussion that I encounter when I go out and see a new client. See, clients, they have this mentality per se that their lawn is going to get amazingly redone. It's going to be green. It's going to have those stripes. It's going to have that nice green grass in just a matter of months. When I say months, I'm talking about 2 or 3 months. And that's not a realistic goal. If we're talking reseeding, resodding, then it's a possibility, but it comes with a price. And once that price comes out there, these clients' brain just explode and did not have the belief that it was going to cost as much to have that nice turf. Per se, I I had a client that actually viewed my YouTube channel. So he saw my YouTube channel and then he contacted me via Instagram. He told me, "Hey, if you do lawns, I would love for you to come and do mine." I was like, "Sure, what area are you in?" The guy lived less than 2 miles away from me, and little did I know that. I go, I visit his lawn, I look around, I give him an estimate of what it's going to cost for my 11-month plan. Now, this 11-month plan is a plan that I have set for the majority of my clients in my area. That's fertilizing, weed control, pre-emergence, fungicide apps, insecticide apps, micros, so on and so on and so on. Now, with that plan, you know, you're going to have a good looking lawn in a matter of months. And then after that is just to maintain it. But we'll get more into that in a little bit. Seems like the guest of honor has finally decided to join, and I want to welcome you guys to give him a round of applause. This dude, he's an amazing guy. He could be an ass sometimes, but he's cool. His name is Mike from Busy Bees Turf, and let's welcome him to the live. What's up, Mike? Thank you for finally joining, sir.
What's going on, man?
Glad you could be here. So, Mike, I opened up a little bit of what we were going to talk about and all that, but I want to go ahead and give you the floor so you could go ahead and introduce yourself, let the people know who you are, and feel free to do what you got to do.
Okay.
Yours.
Name's Michael. I run Busy Bees Turf, or well, it's Busy Bees Lawn Services. It's about to be rebranded once I do a new LLC. I roughly have, I think, between me and my brother, about 70 something mo accounts. Um, and we have about 300 and some change of spray accounts. We have one contract with TTI Industries where about starting last year, we got about 15, 16 acre test field that we do for them for all their electronic and electric mowers and whatnot.
All right, so discuss about that a little bit. What is it? Who is it that you do this lawn, this turf for big companies that they go out there and they mow or do what they got to do? What brand
But,
specifically is it, and how many
uh,
acres do you maintain for them?
but I think it's 16 or 17 acres, and it's Tektronic Industry, so it's the ones that make all the all Ryobi, all Rigid, all Milwaukee, um, Hoover, Hart, and a few others that I can't remember right off of. But those are the big ones.
That is amazing. So they're like right around the corner from you, right? They're in your area. And how did you
It,
land
it,
a contract like that?
so originally, my uncle used to have the old Electrolux that was the Husqvarna line. When they were trying to do their electric stuff, and we had that years and years and years ago. But when they shut that project down, those guys moved over to TTI eventually, and then those guys kind of restarted it with them. And they contacted us to actually see if we wanted it first, and we took it.
Wow. That's a good account to have. I mean, you're mowing for a mowing company that makes and practices these mowers before they give them into the community. Do you see when they go out on that practice turf plot and they run their mowers through there?
Yeah, they fucked it up about 2, 3 weeks ago when we had uh, lows in the 20s and we had frost on the ground. Their bright idea
Mhm.
was to take the mowers out there with frost on fescue and go ahead and cut it. Well, now they're fussing at us that they got brown marks. I'm like, well, you're a dumbass.
All right. Well, there's a quick disclaimer here, folks. There might be a lot of F bombs, C bombs, B bombs, A through Z bombs being dropped. Unfortunately, that's the way Busy expresses himself. And you guys know me. Sometimes I'll drop those bombs too. But
Yeah,
if you have little ones
I have
around,
no
just be
filter.
prepared. There is no censor button here. um, so Busy, real quick. So it goes with your name, Busy Bee, and you have all of these accounts. I personally can't imagine having about 100 accounts right now, and I'm starting up. I'm doing all that, but how do you maintain practices in going from one week to another in all these different accounts and mowing them and applicating them and which ones had what and all this stuff? Do you use like a software, or do you have an Excel sheet? What do you do?
I have yard books. I have what's called Route XL, and I got the good old pen and paper method like Brent has.
Now, just a quick question here. Seeing as you're mostly a solo operator with your family at times and all that, let's say there's a week with bad weather. How do you fit that into the following week's schedule, having all of these accounts?
That's the part where I call them and be like, "Hey, look, we're all gonna have to bust our ass this week and play catch up." So we'll probably be having say if we have 1 week of rain. I'll find out what my brother's schedule is because he also works for South Greenville Fire Department. And what we'll do is we'll just sit there and we'll start tag teaming everything, and or we'll both go out and we'll start running our own trailer. 'Cause we have plenty of equipment. So either we split up, conquer and divide, or we both just sit in the truck and just go and run sun up to sundown.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Looks like my lights are flickering. That's because RH probably got a hold of this live and is now blessing me with his thoughts. Um, for those of you who don't know, you just don't know. All right. So you know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about golf course dreams on these clients and realistic dreams that they should have going into maybe like year one of their lawn or a few months even into their lawn. Um, Talk to me about clients that you have encountered that they'll, I don't know, they'll come at you and they'll put a picture in your face. Boom, I want this lawn, and they like want it like now, like I need it now, type of deal. What is it that you say to them, and 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 how much will it cost, and what is the type of reactions that you get when all those figures get thrown at them?
Oh, they do that to me. I'm like, well, I hope you got a fucking Amex Black card because you're gonna need it.
All right, but like, go into a little bit of detail. Like, give us a story or something that's happened in the past, and either the work got done or it didn't, and why.
Let's see, which one should I pick?
Let's go with the latest one. Whatever is the latest one that you can think of.
Oh, I had one. I quoted earlier last week because I treat 7 or 8 yards around it. And the guy was like, "Well, what's it going to cost for this? What's it going to cost for that?" And I'm like, "I can tell you what it's going to cost to spray it out. I can tell you what my soil assessment consultation fee is, and then once I get the results back, then I can tell you how much fertilizer you're going to need, whether you're deficient P, whether you're deficient K. I don't know how much lime you need. It's not like I can lick my finger, stick it in the dirt, and tell you immediately, oh, this is what you need. It's going to cost this."
Yeah. So how did they react after you gave them the figure? Did they go with it or they didn't? Did they stick with you, or did they say, you know what, I may want to go with somebody else?
They're like, "Well, I got to talk it over with my wife. She's the one that she has to have a number for everything." I was like, "Well, if you're just too cheap, just tell me you're too cheap."
All right. So I would take it that it did not get done,
No,
or is it in a plan to get done?
I don't know. He said that he was going to talk to his wife and he'd let me know something. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Well, Evie makes a great point here. He says fast, cheap, or good. Pick two. That's exactly what it is. So a quick story of what happened to me. I was just telling the folks about it. A guy caught me on YouTube, found my Instagram, and found out that I did work like this on South Florida as an applicator or as mowing. He contacted me and he told me, "Hey, come over, assess my lawn, tell me what it's going to take, and whatever." I offered him the same plan that I offer everybody else, the 11-month plan. that it's scheduled out for specific times of the year when I'm going to put fertilizers, insecticides, herbicides, pre-emergence, etc., etc. When I told the guy, oh man, it's probably going to take, you know, good 8 months at least for your lawn to decently improve, the guy flips out on me. He was like, "No way, no, 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 no! I need it done faster. I need it done now. By summertime, I want my lawn to be looking good." I was like, "Oh, great, perfect. I got the plan for you. It's called the premium package." And Jay Bart introduced me to this, and it's the premium package that I'll do everything in my power to get that lawn in shape without a bulldozer and without ripping everything out, and get you a nice green lawn. And this is what it's going to cost. It was like triple the amount of what usually my 11-month plan is, because that means I'm going to be coming out at least 2 to 3 times his yard, assess the situations. Do these bare spots need a little bit more fertilizer? Do I need to plug up some areas? Do I need to resod anything? Test his water, make sure he's getting water adequately throughout his whole yard with rain gauges. Sit there for 15-30 minutes, however long it's going to take to get a certain amount of water in those rain gauges. So, I specifically told him all of these steps that I'll do if he signs up for the premium package. And guess what he decided to do? Well, long story short, he decided to go with your favorite term. Go ahead and say it.
Which one?
The Chuck fuck truck thing.
The chuckle fucking a truck guy.
Yeah, he went with Chuckle fucking a truck and decided that I'm too expensive. And my premium package and my 11-month package was just not worth it. I said, perfect. Hire them, let them go fuck up your yard even more. And when you see these posts on social media or YouTube, just know my lawn journey did not start like this. It started butt fuck with weeds and issues before I got it to where it has to go. And that's what clients tend to not understand when it comes to having a premium golf course lawn. Unfortunately,
Yours is taking me up. Good.
It's taking you how long?
I got yours just taking me up to 4 years to actually get them the way I want them.
Yes. And I could see that because I have lived through it. And that's what people don't understand. And we'll get into the reason of why of that right now. But you did share me some pictures that we could just look over, show the folks some of the stuff that you maintain here. So
Yeah,
what are
my
we
OCD
looking at
kicked
here?
in on a detention pond. That's roughly about 4.5 acres of rough cut that I have to take care of for a funeral home. We do the actual pristine turf around it every Monday. OCD kicked in. I had to lay stripes in the pond itself because, why not?
So here, do you do any type of applicating, or this is just a mow and go?
That's a mow and go every 2 weeks, but I treat it for myself. Try and suppress weeds.
Okay.
So it gets a pre-emergent twice a year, and it gets a post-emergent. Nothing fancy,
Okay.
just basic broadleaf weed control and a pre-emergent.
All right. And look at this beauty. This dark, lush green grass. What are we looking at here? What type of turf is this?
That's turf type tall fescue. It's got a little bit of POA in it, and you can see it's browning out where I sprayed it with POA Constrict.
Right, in the bottom, almost left hand area. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look too bad because your eyes, unless you really focus on that spot, it's not focused there. It's focused on those dark green and light green stripes up there. So that's pretty good. What did you put on this yard? Because that looks like maybe it was sprayed with some type of fertilizer or micros not too long before that cut, right?
No, that cut was last week. and I haven't put fertilizer on it since I think December.
And did this go dormant during these last couple of months?
No,
No. Okay.
it's let's see, that's Bermuda. That's one of my lake house properties.
Okay.
It's got some spotty little clumping fescue right there. You can see it coming up the driveway. That little dark green spotty stuff.
Uh huh. Yeah, I can see it.
So that one there, that was a hydroseed job of I think right around 3.5 acres. That was bare dirt, and that was the grow in once we actually hit spring.
Wow. How long did that take for it to flourish like that?
After I went in and this is one of the guys that said, I don't care what it costs, I want this yard. I had to go out there with, I think, 17 bags of lime, um, 8 or 9 bags of potassium and phosphorus, and then I pumped it full of a 2005 Lebanon for the nitrogen source. About every, I was running quarter pound for about once a month over the entire
Okay.
property.
Okay. So you never hit that 1 pound, right? It was always under,
Yeah.
but constantly every 30 to 45 days.
Oh yeah. That's one of our commercial properties.
Okay. What type of grass are we looking at here?
That's turf type top fescue again. That's a centipede yard. That guy actually dropped me this year, and I rode by it about 2 days ago, and it looks like absolute dog shit. So some chumble
That
fucking
tends to
truck's got that
happen.
one.
That actually tends to happen, and I got a video coming out talking about stuff like that too. But yeah, so you're right in the transition zone. You're dealing with cool season, warm season, in between season, up and down season. You're
Oh
dealing with
yeah,
all the different grass types.
I
Oh,
can grow every grass type there is. I just can't grow it well. So that's the front yard of the first one that you just seen. And if you'll
okay.
actually zoom in, let's see, where this lime green, the first, no, go back to that one. Yeah, that one right there. So the first lime green stripe you see is kind of dead center of the picture. And then you go dark green, lime green, and then you got 1, 2, 3, about 3 more stripes over, and you see the mower.
Yep,
And that
all the way
dark
in the
green and
top right
lime
corner.
green, yeah, right there's a bare spot right there. And for the life of me, I cannot get shit to grow in there.
Any idea why so far?
No, I've pulled soil sample after soil sample after soil sample. Everything's right. The amendments are there. The lime, the pH. I've brought in topsoil. I've brought in sand. What I'm gonna do this year is I'm gonna take it all the way down to the fucking dirt. Remove some of that dirt and put in new dirt and see if it won't fill in this year when I actually aerate and overseed it.
Okay, what are we looking at here?
That's a 5 acre field of overseeded ryegrass.
Ryegrass. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted it mowed. Oh, there's that one. There's the zoysia.
Zoysia.
Yeah, that one's so much fun.
So far, we've hit almost every single type. We're missing KBG.
That's turf type tall fescue.
Yep, nice zigzags in here. All right, how big is this yard?
Uh, about 4 acres.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
behind that tree line, it goes all the way down, probably another 1,000 feet to the wood line and back up. And then this is just if you're facing the house, that's just the left side of the driveway. Then you got the center of the house that has a bunch of trees and it's got a bunch of grass beside it. And
Hmm.
then on the right hand side, it goes all the way down to the back. So In total, it's probably about 4 or 5 acres, but it's probably about 2 acres of mowable grass that I do out there.
Wow. Wow. So you don't deal with cookie cutter stuff. You deal with big lots. What is the minimum amount of square feet to get you out there?
Well,
Like,
I
is there
got
a certain is there a certain square footage area that you're just like, no, that's too small for me.
anything gated that I got to use a push mower on.
Hmm.
If I can't get a 32 or a 36 in there, I ain't touching it.
All right, we're gonna get into some rants here, but before we get into that, let's go ahead and look at some of these comments or if there's any questions. Aldo says Mike told me he goes to Mardi Gras and throws beads at the guys so they can show them their booty holes. He also says I want to be blessed with thoughts too. Evie said, as we were talking earlier, fast, cheap, good. Pick one or the other. John says, what are your thoughts on my display picture? It's beautiful. Look at that guy. That's a sexy guy, John. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what he's looking down on, but whatever he's looking down on, he's amazed. Brent, you don't want a customer like that anyways. That is correct. So that's why I just tend to say, no, I didn't. All right, so we're going to get into some rants here. And I'm going to start it off with what we just spoke about. And one of the things is I have to blame social media. Yeah, I said it. Look, just like that, I blame social media, and the views dropped to 6. So I am blaming social media for a lot of the stuff that I am currently facing with these issues with customers, because they see a lot of these after pictures of lawns, and I'm one of them. I post a lot of my after pictures in my stories. I tend to show you all the what I'm dealing with type of situations, and every now and then I'll post about it. But the majority of my social media is always about the afters. Here's my nice lawn. Here's it looks nice and green. Look how dark it is, or look how healthy my turf looks and all that. But nobody really posts about the befores, the headaches that we had to go through to get to it, the fungus disease, the insect disease pressure, the weeds we had to kill off, the right pre-emergence for the right type of weeds, because prodiamine won't take care of every single thing out there. There's different pre-emergence for that. But unfortunately, there's a lot of misconception out here on brand new homeowners, DIYers, or people who are looking for a nice lawn and hire professionals that they'll show you a picture of what they want, but they don't know that that's not what they're going to get right away. There's a process to it. So, Busy, I know you have some thoughts on this, and I'll give you the floor for a few minutes to talk about it. Feel free to say what you got to say. This is a live that is not censored. It's not strict. It's not anything. So just feel free. You want the floor? What are your thoughts regarding all these misconceptions and dreams of having this golf course type looking lawn and buying this and 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 this, when in reality you may not even need half of that, and you just need proper agricultural practices to get you to almost point A to point, I'm not going to say Z, but X at least, with just simple 3 cultural practices, and then putting in fertilizers and pre-emergence and weed killers and stuff like that. So what are your thoughts on this whole
buy my shit?
That you put it like that. I put it as let's okay. I can't put it as affiliated links because I believe everybody makes their money for whatever reason. But yeah, it's pretty much buy this, and this is what your lawn is going to turn out like. So, what is your thoughts on that? And feel free to express whatever you want to. Floor is yours, sir.
I feel like what you need to do is you need to actually have a real soil test. You need to focus on your pH, your K, your P levels. You need to focus on your big threes. Then worry about your micros, your magnesiums, your borons, your coppers. Because some of those can be how do you say they can affect certain parts of like growth. Like I know I got 328 here at my house, and I know somebody else has got 328, and I believe my magnesium levels are a little higher than his, so therefore I don't have as much. I would say like winter kill and dieback when mine starts to go back green and come out of dormancy and break dormancy because I got a little bit higher levels of that. I don't think this guy needs to be sitting here throwing out buy my shit, buy my shit, buy my shit, and your yard will look like this. Motherfucker, you cut your fucking yard at like 5 inches of fucking St. Augustine, and all you believe in is a fucking hose end.
All right. So yeah, I mean, sure, fertilizers could work. Sure, micros could work as long as they have the right ingredients involved with them. There's certain ingredients in bags that I wish people would realize and look at before buying stuff to know that it's going to be properly uptaken and utilized by the plants. Um, uh, Dr. Shaddix has been on now multiple lives talking about the difference of ingredients that get easily uptaken in plants and in different situations, and he talks a lot about sulfur, and he's not a big guy on soil tests, but I am big on that as well. I believe a soil test will reveal the majority of the issue that you're having, whether it's low P, low K. I really hate the focus on nitrogen on soil tests. That
I
is
don't even worry
such,
about nitrogen.
yeah, that is such, don't even look at that. I mean, people see that and they say, well, my nitrogen is low. Your nitrogen could go up just by a simple thunderstorm. It's as
Mm-hmm.
simple as that. It's going to go up, it's going to go down. Do not even pay attention to that. That is something I completely skip if it comes out on a soil test. Focus on your P, your K levels, your micros, and you'll see a huge difference, especially if you fluctuate your pH to the correct soil type and turf type that you have. But that's not being talked about a lot in a certain channel, right? That he goes live and tells people off my site, you could buy this, you could buy that, you could buy this, and it's going to make your lawn just Krispy Kreme goodies if you utilize this stuff. First of all, I have a rant to talk about that because he is live. He does not know what's going on in your lawn. There is no soil test that's being conducted at that point. You're just basically giving him a comment of what you're seeing, and he's going to say, I got the perfect solution for that. Let's go ahead and throw down this, you know, without knowing what your lawn is, without knowing anything about your soil test, just
Without
by
knowing
a
anything about your
comment.
water.
Without knowing anything about your water, water has pH values too. It could contain zinc, it could contain iron, it could contain copper, depending on what type of pipes are associated with that. So all that plays a role. And so you guys know the title of this is Golf Course Lawn Dreams, but have realistic ones. A person sitting on the other side of the screen on a live is not going to assess your lawn right then and there and tell you this is exactly what you need. You know, um, I don't know. I mean, I personally busy. I go out and I assess my clients' weed situation. What type of turf type do they have? I look at their soil. I run their sprinklers. I make sure they have coverage. You know, that's something that you could do physically, right?
Of course.
But not on a fucking computer screen.
No,
Not on a
but you can
computer
send me
screen.
a picture and you can tell me this, and I can get a baseline assumption, and that's about all I can get.
Yeah. I could we could sit here and we could ask you 21 questions and narrow it down to what is a possibility of what may be going on in the lawn, but not a product per se uh, that's going to solve all your issues like this. Now, how do you feel about product pushing? I mean, just go ahead and be open about it. Just give us your
I think
thoughts.
it's the dumbest fucking shit in the world.
Okay. Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I do this in all my lives. Do you feel that that may also reflect on you when you product push, not to you, but to a client?
Not really, because I don't even give a certain product. I give values of what's needed.
Okay. Okay. And then point
I don't say,
being, you're at the lawn.
yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, this is the best fertilizer in the world, so this is all we're going to fucking use. No. We may need to run, a lime app twice a year. Well, if I got fast acting calcitic lime sitting here on a pallet that I've had from doing all my new soil tests and having to go put out lime, and that's something left over. Okay, so I use that for a little bit, and then I realize I need more, and I just swing by somewhere and just go buy some Dolimic. It don't really matter. Lime is lime. P is P, K is K, N is N, depending on the source that you're getting it from.
Right. Yeah.
Also, me,
And I
me and
can
J Bar
agree.
had a big long discussion about MOP and SOP,
Okay.
and it breaks down from what we can see here. It breaks down at the same exact time, so there's no reason to actually go with an SOP product when an MOP product will work, and an MOP product's cheaper, and it's going to do the exact same thing, and it takes the exact same time to get into the soil.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, feel free to break it down more if you want to, buddy. Go for it. What's the difference between those two? How would they break down cost, all that stuff?
Cost is supplementally higher for SOP. For what? For me.
Right.
I'm sitting here and I can buy muriate of potash derivative. I need that in the yard that has a low K value, and I'm paying. What are my prices this year? I think like $31 a bag this year for that. That's my cost. That's roughly my cost for everything right now. Any fertilizer I need is about 30 something a bag.
Yeah, and that's you because you're buying bulk too. So you get
Yeah,
a
I'll either
small
buy
discount on it.
2,500 tote or I'll buy pallets at a time.
Right. So let's get a little bit back here on topic also. So what products would you say piss you off the most when you see them on social media?
Stress blend.
Okay. And I've tried it.
Let's see. My favorite one, the guy on the hill down here in Georgia, always pushing fucking Headway.
Okay. And I've tried it. And there's certain situations you should use that for, but not specific situations that he's used it for in his videos.
Exactly.
Like
There's a million other fungicides that would work 100% better, and you just want to use that? No.
yeah. Yeah. Hedgeway is a good product. I think it's because it's a 2-in-1, right?
Yeah, it's a 2-in-1, kind of like Armada.
Yeah. It's a
I'm pulling it up
2-in-1, but there's certain reasons you should use it, and then there's certain different other fungicides that you could use in place of it that are a lot cheaper, a lot more effective at that. Because folks, if you guys don't understand, it's better to use a liquid fungicide than a granular fungicide. There's there's
No,
there's 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 no and if or buts of which one's going to work faster, better, and more efficient than a liquid fungicide.
and
So
also, Headway G has Prop in it, and Prop is one of the bigger PGR fungicides.
yeah, we went heavy into detail on that in my previous live, and its PGR effect
Yeah.
on. I actually, after that live, I actually tossed that to the back of the storage to never probably be seen again until it expires. um, but yeah, definitely. I don't know. There are specific people on social media that I'm okay with. There's specific people that I talk to and all that, but there's just a couple of handful of folks that are just, how are you going to assess somebody's lawn situation by saying this product is going to work? It's going to give you this beautiful yard. Look at my yard over here in the back. It's just, and the camera's focused mainly on him and this big wide spread of a golf type of yard that could work for his yard, but it might not work for everybody else's. And that just it ticks me off. And I hope people could just, you know, realize and assess the situation that when this individual goes live, it's just to push products out of his site. He does not recommend anything else.
Exactly.
It's just here, let me recommend you off my site, and this is going to give you, again, that yard that I have in the back. You see that big beautiful golf course green that I have there? Yeah. That is just unrealistic. And Busy, I don't know if you've seen my videos per se, but in my videos I never mention to anybody that this is going to work for you. I only tell you what I put down. I only show you the results a couple of days, and a couple of days later, and a couple of days later, and I say, hey, this is what I saw. It kind of worked. It did work. It didn't work. And this is the results I see. That's it. I never tell anybody this is going to work for your lawn. Never in any of my videos, ever.
Exactly. Because
So
what did I recommend for you to go buy?
I'm sorry, but what do you mean?
Remember when you was talking about getting some chemicals and everything, and you asked me what do I recommend, and I told you get metsulfuron methyl, pre-emergent. What else did I tell you?
Oh,
Sulfentrazone
sulfentrazone. Okay, yeah,
and something else. So that can be used in
Impero.
warm season. Yeah, so that can be used in warm season. You can run Impero, you can run sulfentrazone, and you can run your prodiamine. You can run that in a cool season yard. But guess what? There's certain things you can't run in certain ones.
Yeah. I just want to say hi to Grace. Grace, thank you so much for joining. It's been a long time I haven't seen her. She's highly supportive of this channel, and just wanted to give her a quick shout out. And a couple of other peoples that have joined later. PJ, hello. And Grace, that's about it. I figured this is going to be a low view live, since it was kind of last minute, but for the most part, I want to thank everybody for joining. And I'm not trying to pull a princess here, trying to stop the conversation and give shout outs. I just roll like that. But yeah, we're talking about golf course lawn dreams and having realistic goals. What would you tell the people out there, Busy, if they want to start? This is DIY. We're not talking applicating, okay? If they want to start working on their lawn, and their lawn is 35% weeds, and the rest is some type of turf that looks halfway decent. What would you say a yard like that took if they took the proper applications month to month to month to month to month? Probably take. And let me give you a square footage: 2,500 square feet.
2,500 square feet, you could probably do that an entire season. If you're in your area, for sure. My area, you may need this entire season, you may need a little bit next year to get a what you would deem maybe perfect or perfect enough to where you get to maybe that 85, 90, 95% range. But it can be
Okay.
done, and it's super easy. You start with your pH. You figure out where your optimum pH is going to be. And for me and my warm season stuff, I like somewhere between a 6.2 to a 6.5. I don't want that perfect 7 because then that goes into issues to where you actually have absorption issues of certain macros and micros and whatnot. And there's study after study after study of that. And I believe me and Ray talked about that. Dr. Sadix has talked about that. Um, at a lower pH level, you can get better actual intake of certain ones. Also, there's another one that you need to realize. If you pre-wet the grass and you're trying to actually get certain applications down, running the sprinklers first or having dew on the ground first thing in the morning, the plant tissue is already open and exposed and it's ready to absorb that. So therefore, if you're doing that and then you're making a chemical application, you're going to get better results.
That's a good tip. So if you're spraying on dry ground versus you're spraying on a ground that's temporarily been irrigated for, I don't know, 2 or 3, 4, 5 minutes, you're saying a liquid application that's foliar, it's going to be better for the turf.
Yeah, you're actually going to see better results. I don't remember where I seen it, but there was a study done on that, and the actual wet turf done better than the turf that was just watered and
Mhm.
dry turf. It went wet, somewhat slightly damp, and then dry.
Okay.
And it was all based off of weed control.
Okay. And so, what would be the next steps for somebody who actually wants to get into this and get a nice lawn, a good golf course lawn? What would be the next steps after pH, after you know, let's say they knock out weeds. Let's say they use the right weed killer. They knock out some weeds. Well, what's the next steps? What would you advise somebody to do?
But if you got warm season, I would say mow frequently, mow as often as you can, figure out a good PGR system to work in. That way you're not out there every 24, 72 hours. Even though, I mean, yeah, you're a homeowner, you can do that. Every time you get home from work, every 2, 3 days, you could do it if you wanted. But incorporate a PGR in there. Um, and then I would low dose nitrogen and just quote unquote spoon feed, your quarter pound monthly. If you're trying to push a grow in, then you may not want just 1 or 2 pounds a year. You may want to go closer to that 4, 5, 6 pounds.
Right. So for 4, 5, 6 pounds of nitrogen is equivalent to probably half a pound to 3/4 of a pound every month or two. It's not putting down a pound and a half this month and then a pound and a half next month. And
Right.
it's definitely not that. We really have to watch the pounds per thousand. Any I have yet to put over 0.90 pounds of nitrogen in my lawn ever, and I still get amazing results. So just food for thought there, folks. A pound of nitrogen is just not needed. Um, so Brent made a good point here. Every customer DIYer has a different perspective. If all the weeds are gone, it could be a win. If it's perfect but a small spot of dollar spot, it can be a fail. It can vary. And that's true. That's true, Brent. It can be a win. It can be, a fail depending on what you're going for. Rather, it's you want to knock out all these weeds. Go for it. You want to get a good green grass? Go for it. Just note, I have to say this too. This is not also put out there a lot. Every lawn has some type of failure. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with
Yes.
that?
Yes, I got one of the shittiest fucking Bermudas there is.
Every lawn has some type of failure, whether you guys see it on camera or not. I have weeds in my lawn, and you can't tell. I may have like 4 or 5 weeds in the lawn. You can't see it, but I have. So that's another topic I want to get into. That is going to. I'm going to give you the floor on this one before I go on a rant on that one. Videos that come out with a big, nice title that say "weed-free lawn." What are your thoughts on that, Busy?
I guarantee I can find one.
that is my trigger button there. That is literally my trigger button. That is the videos I tend to skip because I can't look at them. I cannot look at them. Weed free lawn, folks. I'm gonna tell you this as a professional, as a DIYer at heart, as somebody who has managed a couple of turfs, and as somebody who talks to you honestly. That's clickbait, and that's false. And I'm gonna pull a green doc move here, and I'm gonna say that's bullshit. Okay,
I agree.
That is 100% bullshit. There is no such thing. Not golf courses, not baseball fields, not people who live at home DIYing, not as applicators. There is no such thing as a weed-free lawn. When you see these videos, I want you to ask yourself, why isn't this person showing the entire lawn, front, back, side, left, right, up, down? They're just talking about it and giving you glimpse of these nice spots, these nice areas, and say, this is what I used. This is what I put down. This is how I'm weed free. There's no such thing, folks. None. Zero. Nada. I don't know how to say it in Chinese. French. There is no such thing. I bet you a year's salary that there is at least 4 weeds in that yard.
Guaranteed.
I'll even give you that number, 4 weeds. Right? What would you say, Busy? What would you say a minimal number of weeds are in those yards?
If they're going to sit there and get clickbait like that, I guarantee there's more than 4.
More than 4? Like what number?
10 or more. It might be the same thing, might be in different spots, but there's going to be more.
Yeah. There is no such thing, and I'm not saying that the products that they used are bad. They could work, utilizing them first of all correctly and at the right time, but there is no fucking way that there's not one fucking weed in that yard. I can name you the weeds that I have in my yard right now. I have 3 goose grasses in the backyard. I have
all of that.
I have spurge growing in one area, and in my front yard I have nutsedge probably in 4 different spots, and I have that dreaded dayflower still growing in my yard, and it's probably like in 4 spots as well. And you guys have seen my posts and my Instagram and my YouTubes, and you see it. I mean, it looks beautiful, but if I was to deep dive and show you, you will see the imperfections.
If you look right back right here where my fence line is, I have a little bit of poa back there. I got some wild garlic. I got hen bit. Um, the big mulch pile that I have, there's a lot of common Bermuda invading, and then there's also some thistle back there. But that's my dump site too, so I expect to have shit back there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's another thing. People don't show. There's a every house has a dump site. That one corner of the plot that you just do not care about, and it's used to uh, empty out your sprayer,
Hang on
not
here,
like
I'll go take a
putting it.
picture and send it to you.
Okay, well, he's leaving the live to go take a picture, folks. This guy. Um, but yeah, every area has a dump spot that you just don't care about, and I have probably two of those areas. So it is what it is. There's no perfect lawn, and you guys are just not seeing it on video the way that it's tended to look in real life. So that goes without saying. Again, these golf course lawn dreams, make them realistic, folks. There's imperfections in every lawn, and there's stuff being pushed out that you do not need, you do not want to buy. It's expensive. There's cheaper versions, and just do a little bit of research. That's all I ask. Do a little bit of research. Look at the ingredients. Look at the value that you're getting for these bags. A lot of my videos tend to talk about per wrap rates, and I hope people see the value in that, because when buying certain products, even though I keep saying it in my videos, it's cheaper up front because you're buying it at a big box store or whatever.
Prime example: Sedgehammer versus Impero.
Yeah, Sedgehammer
Right?
is such a known brand for sedges, and Busy introduced me to Impero, and it's the same damn thing for like almost $15 less. The same thing, the same percentage of the, what is it, Hollow
Halo
Sulfuron.
Furon.
Halo Sulfuron. It brings the same damn measuring cup. It's the same amount of ounces or grams or whatever of the bottle, and it's like $15 cheaper, name brand. So yeah, do some research, folks. There's cheaper stuff out there. You do not need to buy the most expensive thing to get a nice golf course lawn. Um, just do a little bit of research. Did you send me the picture, or you want to just?
Yeah,
Oh, yes, you
yeah, you
did.
should have it on text. Oh, I will say though, I am a fucking monument whore at heart.
You're a what?
Monument whore at heart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one chemical.
All right, let me just share this, and so this is your dump site.
Yeah, you can see way back there where I take everything and burn it.
Uh-huh.
And you can also see how
That-
shitty the damn wash is from the rain we got yesterday. Or yesterday.
That's some country
damn
shit.
tiger stripes.
You country people always have that burning area. You just have a place to just burn shit.
Yeah, so if you go, well, I got a hose pipe there too. But all that right there, if you look where the gardenias are, that's where the dump site is on the back side of it.
Okay, this area over here.
Yeah.
And this is where the gardenias are. Yep.
The-
So you
the
see,
gardenias right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So would you say, like, from here where I'm highlighting down this way, things look better, and this is just that corner piece, that part that I was talking about earlier, that part that you're just like, you know what, whatever.
Well, I gotta have that whatever spot in my yard.
Yeah.
Where you got it clicked on right now and made that little square, that's actually rock and sand base, and the Bermuda just grew over top of it.
Oh wow. Nah, that wild or common Bermuda. It's a pain in everybody's.
No, that's that 328.
Oh, that's a 328. My bad. Yeah.
I got that bitch Bermuda.
All right, guys. Throw up any questions that you may have, and if you have any, I just want to, before we start wrapping things up here. If you guys have any questions, throw them up for busy. But yeah, you just need to be very careful in social media. I'm not saying me. I'm not saying anybody in particular. I'm not saying everybody's like this. I'm not saying um, um, certain individuals. You just have to be careful for what you see and just take a second and think about: is this really going to work? Do your research, investigate the products. Is there a cheaper alternative to this? And don't just go out there and start throwing money. You know.
You also need to realize what chemicals are available in your state and what chemicals are not available in your state. Just
Yeah.
because I have certain
So
license and I can buy certain chemicals doesn't mean the average DIY guy can get what I get.
yeah, yeah. I I could talk on. I mean, I can't talk on that too much. I have to pull a lot of strings to get certain chemicals because I can't get them without my license. I have to pull strings from people that know me, that they know I'm not gonna FAFO around with this stuff, that I'm not just gonna dump it in the middle of the street, that I'm just not gonna, overuse it, that I'm going to be really careful with this stuff. I'm gonna wear my PPE, I'm gonna be on top of my game, because the last thing that I need is to get caught with some of these chemicals. And yeah, the state of Florida will, like I keep telling people, it will throw the gavel down on me. So, all right. I'm gonna throw up the guest link up here. Busy. What else? I think you wanted to talk about something else. What was it? Unfortunately, when we're like 15 minutes late to the party here, but I think you wanted to talk about um the cost of applicating, and what it costs us to do these things, and the reason why sometimes we charge what we charge. You wanted to go into like a little bit of a deep dive on that. We're talking about
Oh yeah, because
skids, we're talking about trucks, we're talking about the chemicals. This is not just an average DIYer buy one chemical is going to last for my yard for a certain amount of time. But feel
no, I mean I dropped. Let's see, what did I drop? Like $30,000 for my pre-emergent this year.
30,000.
Yeah, because you got to imagine I'm running Indaziflam, so Spectacle Flow, and if you buy it in the big 2.5 gallon jugs, you're looking at roughly like $3,300 for 2.5 gallons, and I need 10 of those. When you
That
break it
is
down, I'm charging. Well, it's costing me $41.18 per acre of application.
wow.
And that's just
That
one.
is that tickles the pickle a little bit down there. That ruffles some feathers in the wallets.
Yeah. I got 17 pallets of fertilizer sitting at my shop right now. I got 90 days to pay for it. So do, what is it, 50 bags a pallet times 17. Let's see here. Let me do the math right quick. Let's see. 17 times 50 times 33 bucks. Yeah, so $30,000 in fertilizer too.
Yeah.
For round one.
Yeah, and that's just round one.
Yeah.
There's still a round two.
There's round two, round three.
Yep. Brent asks, "What's an alternative product to Magic Cow? I think that you guys use for an appropriate price." So Magic Cow is, I think, the pH, the thing that raises pH, and the thing that raises that downs pH, I guess you could say. Is that what you're talking about,
No, I
Brant?
think he's talking Mad Cow Lime, if I remember.
Okay, then. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what we're talking about here. But do you have a sense of what he's talking about here?
If he's talking about the lime, there's the Mad Cow fast acting, and it's like $15 a bag for me. There's another one that's sort of similar to it,
Oh, okay.
and it's like $7 a bag.
Yeah. Well,
If that's the one he's talking about.
Well, I really don't have to deal with that here, raising pH. If anything, our pH could go down. So I would not know, Brent, but as Busy just said, um, he gets it for what? You said $7 a bag?
Yeah.
What's the best chelated iron source?
I have some like Southern actuated iron, but I like Featured.
Yeah, I was about to say that too. That AG Southern chelated iron.
Yeah.
That's what I use. I just throw in a little bit if I need it to the lawns. Fine with that. I'm sure there's cheaper options out there, Brent, but I can't speak for it. Busy would know more.
Another one. When you brought that up, when I show up to a customer's house, just with the mowing rig, I think, what did I tell you? I'm showing up anywhere between $30,000 on a trailer up to like $160,000-$170,000 setup, and I'm not driving a brand new truck either.
Mm-hmm.
And these people are like, "Well, why can't you cut my yard for $20?" No, hell no.
Yep. That all plays a factor. Gas, mileage, maintenance on the vehicle price, the trailer hauling it, the equipment being brought up. There has to be a standard that you have to just abide by saying, if I go over there, this is going to be the set price before I even start cutting your lawn.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're trying to pretty much get to.
Yeah, my minimum. It don't matter how small the yard is. My minimum for me to drop my gate's $55.
Yeah.
And it could be 500 square feet. It's going to cost you $55 for me to show up.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I could agree with that. Even if it's just a little postage stamp yard, you're going to get charged the minimum of something. You're not going to get charged, oh, because I have a small yard, here's $20. No. Definitely not. Not even worth my time.
No. The only ones that are cut for free are my families. And that's my dad and my granddad.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for family, of course. All right, guys. So we went on a little bit of a rant here, talking about golf course lawns and having realistic dreams. Again, I just want to push that on you guys. If you're just going to go ahead and start out, have a realistic time frame of how long this could possibly take you. And if it's going to take you a long time, example, me, I didn't know what the hell I was getting myself into with my lawn. It took me almost 6-7 years. Sometimes it's better to just wipe the stake clean and just saw it on top and start fresh from there. But if you do want to take the time and effort, just put a realistic goal on your ends. This is not something that a magic product is going to give you in a matter of weeks or months. It could take seasons for this, and there is no magic product out there. It's time, it's effort, it's watering, it's mowing, it's fertilizing, it's pre-emergent, it's weed control, it's fungicide control, it's insect control. All of that plays a part. Okay. If you guys got any questions for Busy, go ahead and throw them up. If not, I have been putting up the guest link. Feel free to join us for a few minutes. We're going to hop into a little bit of an after show. Just note I could only have maybe about up to 5 people in our after show. So whoever joins first is getting in. With that being said, Busy, closing thoughts. Tell everybody about yourself. Tell everybody about your IG, which let me share it as well. I am so sorry, buddy. I forgot about that. Um, but the floor is yours.
So
Tell
yeah,
them
I have
about your business. Go ahead.
so I got an Instagram. As again, I'm solo. I rarely remember to take before and after pictures. I rarely ever do videos, but when I do remember, I do try and post. I got a TikTok. I don't know when I'll ever actually have a video on there, but one of these days, hopefully.
All right, I
As far
just
as
threw up Busy's Instagram, folks, so you could pull that link there and follow him there. It'll also be in the link of the description. Go ahead.
the business, it's located upstate South Carolina, and I pretty much take care of pretty much every turf there is. The only one that I will not put anything on is I will not deal with Bahia, and I really don't like dealing with St. Augustine. There's just too many issues up here that I have with it.
And go ahead and feel free to give a shout out to the Tuesday/Wednesday sometime show.
Oh yeah, the Tuesday Wednesday show. Whenever we can actually make it. Me and Western Mass Turf, we're on. We try and go once a week in the off season, but with us starting to pick everything up, and me already hitting first round first, we may be going to maybe every other week, maybe once a month. But we're going to try and at least shoot for once a month for now. If not, once our season starts to wind down and we start getting, slower and slower and slower to where we can have that off season, we'll go back to our weeklies.
All right. I also put the link up to Western Mass Turf. Some great video tips there and also live shows as well. You'll have a guest host of Busy Bee joining most of the time, as well as Brent, that's live up here in the chat, always giving out some great advice for cool season grass types. And Busy as the guest will have a lot of transition zone cool season grass type tips as well, so feel free to join them there again. Guys, thank you guys for joining. I know this was last minute, and I thank each and every one of you for joining. We're going to be out of here. We're going to chat a little bit in the after show. I'm throwing that link up there. Feel free to join. Just remember, I can only host about 4 or 5 individuals, so first come, first serve. With that being said, this is another episode of Let's Talk Lawns, and let's see when we get to do this again. Busy, thank you so much for joining, sir. I appreciate the time and that you took to jump on. All right. With that said, thank you guys. See you in the next one.